Okay, so the next step in creating or reimagining our iconic building is to take our existing conditions model that has now been transitioned into a render-ready model, and we're going to save it as our proposed conditions. This way we'll always have a record of the existing conditions. This works with our iconic building summer competition. This also works with any renovation project too. It's a good way to kind of organize your files. So we've got our existing conditions model, we save it as our proposed conditions file, and now we can just go nuts in our proposed conditions. We can start deleting things, adding new design elements, kind of changing things around, making the design what we want it to be. So let's do that. Let's hop into SketchUp and take a look. Here's our existing conditions model, and this is on render. I can always go to unhide and see the site. I'm going to go to File and choose Save As. And we're going to save this as our proposed conditions. But for now, I'm not going to save it in my project folder. I'm going to throw this on my desktop in my temp folder. That way I just kind of have a running record of it, and we'll share all of those finished proposed files with you. Okay, so now this is called Falling Water Proposed. So let me go through here and start to work on my design. So some things I might want to do would be like some easy stuff, like I'm going to reimagine this. And let's say I'm going to darken up the window frames, maybe desaturate them all the way. I'm going to go with kind of just a darker, grayer scenario. Kind of desaturate my rock a bit. Maybe these guys, I'll desaturate that and lighten it up. Actually, you can see that we don't have all of our materials linked up on that one, just like our rock. So, maybe I'll leave that one alone for now. That would be another one that you could go through and reapply all the way across the board. Let's see, what else do we have? We can kind of add some grass maybe to the roof. So I might come up here and go to my materials and grab some, let's see, we've got our landscaping, fencing and vegetation. Here's some grass. Let's go with this grass here. That looks good. So we'll do some green roofs on here. And we'll paint that there, and yeah, we can paint these too. Alright, so that looks pretty good. So we've got our green roofs, we've got our same series of decks there and all that. The other thing I might do is go into each one of these and maybe I'll get rid of my ledges here. Let's work on this one first. We'll go in here and get rid of our ledges. And I can double click with my push-pull tool. And then maybe I would come up with a new railing type. So I want these kind of sleek railings that maintain the form of what was there, but I just want it to be that super modern material. So maybe what I do now is take this and make a copy of it, and then I'll paste it in place, make it a group, and then double click into that new group. Alright, so now I just want to take this, I'm going to save these pieces as my path, and for follow me, maybe I want to make a metal, some kind of a panel here. We'll go like this, and put this thing down low, group that. Oops, let me make this, delete that stuff. Alright, so what I want to do is make a rectangle from here to here. And then let me hide the rest. Okay, so now we're going to move this straight down using all those basic building methods and rules in SketchUp. And, maybe I only want this to be, what is that? It's 5 inches, so let's just call that 1 inch or maybe 2 inches. And so let's use my move tool, scoot that over here. Like that. Okay. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is just, I could give a little bit of detail. I kind of goofed that up, didn't I? Let me take this. Yeah, some of this stuff is just a little off axis, which you got to be aware of. But I'll just draw that straight down to kind of break that surface. Now this one, maybe I just want a little bit of a railing detail. So we'll just do just kind of bump out a bit and go down to and over to. Alright, so that looks good. We're really just going to make this kind of a big glass railing here, so looks good enough. So I'll just take that, select it. I pre-select my path, activate my follow me, and click on the profile. So now we've got our new railing that kind of zips around. You can see what that looks like. All right, so this part, I want this to be kind of like this really sleek metal. So I'd go in here and choose a metal like our aluminum, and then I would go into, maybe I'll just sample my glass, hold shift, and apply that all over. So even though I can still see through the glass, that's okay because we'll make that kind of frosty and kind of mess with that once we get into Lumion. All right, so let's see, what else do? We could edit. We didn't really get into fully edit these materials, but here's a quick and easy way to do this. If I were to desaturate this one, I could then go to this next one and sample that object to kind of match it. So it makes it really easy to just kind of match those properties across the board. So I'll take this one, match color of object and model, just like that. So it is pretty quick and easy to kind of get those whipped into shape. That looks pretty good. Okay, so this would be our proposed conditions model. Let's go in and open our actual proposed conditions model. So this is in our Dropbox, Brightman Designs, tutorials, and we've got our summer competition proposed. I don't need to save mine. Okay, so now you can see that I've added my railings in. I've got kind of everything already set up with our RenderReady, but really just put these kind of panes of glass in there and kind of these different railing details. For this one, looks like I was playing around with some light up materials, but we're not going to do that for this tutorial. So that looks pretty good. I think we're all set. That is our proposed conditions model. Now again, on the proposed conditions model, we want to make sure that we hide our site and that our render scene is ready like that. So that's where I would click on File and Save. So you want to make sure that your existing conditions model has the site hidden, and also that the proposed conditions model has that site hidden. Okay, so we're looking pretty good for our proposed conditions model. This one's all ready to rock and roll. We've got both the existing and the proposed setup. And so now what we're going to do in our next tutorial is import everything into Lumion and start to kind of craft our environment and get things ready to start presenting our design. All right, so we'll catch you in the next tutorial.